Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tribal Talk presented by Baptist Health and Baptist Ortho. Now, my name is Mitch Petrie from the Wetumpka Sports Network, and welcome to our first episode here. I want to tell you a little bit about what this podcast is going to be about before we get into anything too serious. But if you remember, we had Tribal Talk featuring the Bearwood Show, hosted by Wharf Casual Seafood, back during the fall on Tuesday nights. And this will kind of be a little bit similar to that in terms of the sense we're going to interview players, coaches, and a whole host of people involved with Indians athletics, kind of keep you in the loop with everything going on in the Tribe Nation. Before we get into any of that, let's tell you about who is going to be joining the show today. First off, we'll have Coach Josh Highland of the wrestling team join the program, talk a little bit about this season so far, the recent region championship win over Benjamin Russell, and then talk about the state quarterfinal tournaments that they'll be hosting right here in Wetumpka this coming Saturday. Have Saraland, Pike Road, and Gulf Shores making the journey to earn a bid in the Final Four and hopefully start trying to bring home that state title. After that, we'll have Kyle Ballard join the show. Kyle is the twin brother of Caleb Ballard and the brother of Queen Ballard, both of the Indians basketball team. Kyle has been really involved with the Indians athletics a little bit behind the scenes, not a player on the court, but he helped out during football season with the Indians football program under Coach Woods and has really done a great job in basketball as well, helping out Coach Thomas with the varsity men's team, some of the JV teams, and then was also the coach of the freshman boys team. So talked to him a little bit about that and kind of some of the experience and takeaways he got from that involvement in coaching. Before we get into any of that, I want to remind you that for generations, Baptist Health has been caring for families right here in the River region. From routine checkups to advanced medical care, their experienced doctors and compassionate staff are focused on just one thing: you. When it matters most, choose a healthcare team that puts patients first. Baptist Health, trusted care right here at home. Find a provider or learn more at baptisthealth.org. When we come back, we'll be joined by head coach of the wrestling team, Coach Josh Highland. We're now joined by head wrestling coach, Coach Josh Highland. Coach, it's been a real successful season for you guys so far, and it seems that in your 4 years here, it's really kind of become, a dominant program, this wrestling team. And kind of what do you think has been the keys to your success, as you've continued to build up this program?
Working from the ground up, and when I say that, it's truly just drilling the basics over and over and getting these kids to understand that, being able to take 1,000 shots and, being successful at taking those shots, like that's what's going to help us win matches. And they've been able to do it so well. Just every little part of the basic, they've just been able to do it so well. And it has helped us win matches, late in matches. They never try to go to the fancy stuff. They stick to what they know, and that's what's helping us win.
Yes, sir. Just preaching those fundamentals is always a big part of any sport, but especially when it comes to wrestling. And speaking of taking those shots were pretty successful last weekend. Got another region championship, this time over Benjamin Russell. Just kind of talk about what went into that win and how proud of those guys you are and what it means to the team.
Oh, man, like there's just that, like the biggest word that pops up there was adversity. Just knowing that. I've been speaking all week to our guys. We went in with multiple injuries. Sicknesses were hitting us throughout the day, all day. Had to pull up a few JV guys just 2 hours before we even leave. And I'm like, man, I sat down in my office and I was like, man, I just need these kids to respond. This is where everybody talks about it. It's like, these kids are really going to have to do it, And, man, did they come out just ready to rock and roll. They did it. They picked each other up. They got pins when they needed it. And, it was a great night overall. And it really showed just how great they are as a team when we're healthy. Like, it's just – and even when we're not, just how much depth we have for these guys to just come in and just, pick each other up.
Right, and you talk about having to bring some kids up from JV. How do you kind of keep those guys prepared, so if their number is called, they're ready to go?
Just being able to just get in there, like, getting thrown in the fire at practice. They're willing to step up. Like when we're doing live matches, they're always asking, "Hey, coach, can I get in there with the varsity guys?" And like I'm always willing to, let them get in there, especially if they're asking and they're really willing to take matches. I'm willing to give it to them, and I think that kind of prepared them for that moment. And we've talked to them. Our leaders have talked to all those guys too. It's like, hey, just being able to just step up and, bring the intensity. That's the things you can control is, your efforts and, what to do on the mat. You can control that, win or loss, just go get after it. And that's what they did, and it really showed.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to talk about a few wrestlers in specific. Had a couple of wrestlers reach really big milestones in terms of 100 wins, Juliana Eldridge and Barrett Adams. Talk about what that milestone represents to them and kind of how proud of those guys you are.
I'm super proud of them. Starting with just Juliana, like just the streak that she's on and, how well she's been wrestling. She's tough. She really is. And she's just that next step of what girls wrestling is trying to get to. She's able to do that and just do it well. Obviously the 100 wins. I mean, within the next year or so, she's going to get to 150, even plus more wins. And just great to see that. And then along with Barrett Adams, getting his 100 wins, he's well past that, not getting past that part now, and even more, like he's going to get to 150 within the next year or so. And he's, only in the 10th grade this year. So, I mean, he's liable to, if he keeps at this streak, like he's liable to get to 200 wins, which is very hard to do. And we have so many more guys that are there, like TJ Watson. I think he's right on the doorstep of 150 now, and he's only a junior. So he's liable to get to 200 next year. So it really speaks volumes of how well these kids are wrestling. And they've been just doing it so long that they've just, to be able to be consistent in our lineup and just be a hammer and just be that what we need. It really says a lot about them.
Yeah, absolutely it does. And I know that region championship is not the end of the season for you guys. Got the state quarterfinals coming up this Saturday, hosting it, of course, and kind of talk about what that means to be able to host that state quarterfinal tournament and have those teams like Pike Road, Saraland, Gulf Shores come up and travel to you.
Oh man, it's a really big deal. Just knowing that we're there, and we've been there since 2017. I think they made an article about on the wrestling page or whatever when they're talking about all the 6A teams, and it just really shows like we're being consistent, but like being able to host it, it's a different feel. That home field advantage, obviously with us being down 3 and 4 starters now, and knowing what we're going against, it's David versus Goliath, but we're never out, and that's what I always tell our guys, like we're never out of it. We're just going to keep wrestling, and good things will happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about the community, they're going to show out here on Saturday. But for anybody who doesn't necessarily know what times and everything, go ahead and let everybody know so they can come out and support the Indians.
So we'll start wrestling at 1 o'clock on Saturday. We'll wrestle Saraland first. Gulf Shores will wrestle Pike Road, and the two winners will face each other to see who punches their ticket to the Final Four.
And I know this team has got its sights set on a state championship, and kind of what last thing here, what's it going to take for this team to go home, to go to state and hopefully bring home a title?
Just keep being consistent. That's the main thing. Keep being consistent, keep showing up, and just respond to every part of adversity that they've done so far this year. And I feel like good things will continue to happen.
Absolutely. We're excited to see what this team can do. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you joining me here today.
All right. Thank you.
Welcome back to Tribal Talk, presented by Baptist Health and Baptist Ortho. Now we are now joined by Kyle Ballard. And Kyle, appreciate you taking the time to join me here today. I know you're involved with a lot of the Indians athletics programs, but first of all, I kind of want to ask how you got started in that field and kind of what drew your interest.
Well, when I came over from Coosa County, me and my brother, when we transferred in, I started talking to Coach Bear about me staying into the sports and staying active within athletics and moving into the Wetumpka High School athletics program. And he allowed me to come in and be an assistant to him throughout the football season. And Coach Thomas allowed me to coach and be an assistant for him on the basketball season as well.
Yeah, I know you've done a whole lot of work, but especially, looking at the freshman boys team. You were the head coach of that team, correct?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that, kind of how the season went. I know you guys went 2-2, not a lot of games to choose from there, but kind of tell me what that was like, and how was it, coaching guys who are just a year younger than you. You're a sophomore, but you're coaching these guys who are basically the same age as you. How'd that go about?
We had a little ups and downs. We had to face a little adversity, but we pushed through. Like you said, we had a great season. We was starting off a little bad, but then we ended up picking it up going towards the end. The boys played good. I liked it being able to teach people younger than me, being able to show them what they will be looking for on the varsity and the JV level here at Wetumpka High School.
And I just wanted to ask you, go a little bit more into detail. These guys are the same age of you. I'm sure you're friends with a lot of these guys. Kind of what was that relationship like with the players?
Oh, well, a lot of them I had also seen throughout the AAU season last year. And I also had a lot of them talk to me before the season started about playing basketball for the ninth grade. And with us being the same age, all of us understood that what it was going to take. All of us was young. Me as a young coach, them as young players. But we all had to come together. We realized we had to come together and we had to be a team to be able to make it and be able to win the basketball games that we needed to win.
And now that season's over, doing a lot of work, I always see you on the bench at the JV games, coaching these guys up, letting them know, drawing up some plays. Kind of just talk about your role now as the freshman season is over, kind of what you're doing with the JV and varsity squads with Coach Thomas.
Yes, I've been moved to the assistant coach for the JV coach, Walter Lacey. I assist him. I use the boys in practice in second period throughout the school day. And I also have them after school with him practicing and utilizing the time that we have trying to make them better to move up to the varsity level with Coach Thomas. I am also the assistant coach and assistant for Coach Thomas as well, being able to be around, staying around with the athletics, and being able to also be the assistant coach for my brother. He let me stay in the field for all three teams, and I thank him for that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's been real exciting to get that. And, I kind of wanted to ask, what your future plans are. Do you, is coaching a career path that you want to pursue? You want to stay involved with athletics as, you continue to grow up?
Yes, I have been actually looking into going to get my degree in sports management and physical education and becoming a coach, a high school, then trying to move up to being a college coach in the state of Alabama or nationwide.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Excited to see what the future holds for you. I know you've done a great job all throughout both football season and basketball season, and we're excited to see what you keep doing. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
Well, that'll just about do it for this first episode of the new Tribal Talk presented by Baptist Health and Baptist Ortho. Now, got some great insight there from Coach Josh Highland of the wrestling team. And, of course, nice to talk to Kyle Ballard as well about his involvement with Indians athletics. Make sure to come out and support the Indians this Friday night. They'll host Stanhope Elmore. Girls will tip off at 5:45, and boys following them, usually about 7 o'clock is there. Can't make it, you can always tune in on the Wetumpka Athletics Live YouTube channel or 105.1 WRFS and the Radio Alabama app. And before we get out of here, I just want to remind you that Baptist Ortho now serves children and adults of all ages with no appointment necessary. Located across from Target in East Chase Parkway and open Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Check them out online at baptisthealth.org. Once again, I'm Mitch Petrie. You're listening to the Wetumpka Sports Network. Thanks for tuning in.